Hey dumplings, it's Dave Desai. Welcome back to my channel. Today we have much darker teas, as you can probably tell. I'm going to be talking about Suga and him addressing if and when BTS disbands and what his thoughts are on this. I also have a lot of thoughts on this, so I definitely wanted to talk about it. We also have RM kind of responding to hate comments on a live show, and a lot of armies are hurt because we usually don't want him to read these, but it looks like he did. Grab your dumpling, a tea spilling mug merch, and let's jump into the tea. If you're new here and you're interested in this type of stuff, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and that notification bell to be notified anytime a new video drops. And if you're a hater, like to be first, leave your hate comment. Please make sure you hit the subscribe button and that notification bell also so you can be first to do so. Now let's jump into it. The first thing I want to get into today is of course Suga and what happened with him. BTS actually for the first time in a long time decided to do a Korean variety show, sort of. I don't know what classifies a variety show versus just a fun celebrity show, or are they the same? But this show is called New Quiz on the Block. I believe this was episode 99 and BTS went on. They actually spoke about really dark topics, which are things they tend to avoid. But I like that they talk about these things in Korean shows, which is why I like it so much when they did Korean shows, because we get to go into deep thought with them. And they talk about things no other idol talks about. And obviously, you can't really ask an idol these questions because they might think it's rude. I'll explain. BTS talked about their career and how they felt about their fame. And definitely there's plenty of artists that will go down in history, including BTS. Like Michael Jackson, if he was alive today, would still be remembered and probably still sell out shows if he wanted to perform, although he'd be pretty old now. But BTS kind of spoke about how they felt about fame. Fame is fleeting, and for a lot of people, you have it for a while and then you're done. Usually it's because you can't keep up. Like you can't keep up with interesting ideas anymore, or you can't dance the way you used to. So it's up to you as the person who is famous to make the most out of your fame. Whether it's investing your money or starting another business, whatever, BTS has done all of this. And BTS specifically talked about how there will come a day, and either soon or not, where they will have to accept that their fame is going. Or something the netizens has talked about online is when the purple sea dries up. Basically, if you're at a BTS concert, you'll see everyone's bangtan bombs in the air, and those bombs, if you didn't know, change color as the concert is going on. Like everyone will change to the same color. So it literally looks like a purple sea. And the saying is that when the sea is no longer there and when their fame disappears. So the example Suga said was when 20,000 people turn into 10,000 and then eventually 2,000. They will have to accept that they're no longer at the top and accept that they're performing for a smaller crowd. I like Suga's mindset where it's realistic. I think this is something every idol faces. And one big misconception people have is that there's such a thing as making it. Like you reach a point where you can literally put out garbage and people will still buy and you'd still sell out or go number one. It's not true. I'm not going to mention names, but even the most iconic people in the world, a lot of them are struggling now to get a number one. Even all the new artists and fresh faces coming out now. But, there is such a thing where you've made it in history. So BTS has made it in history to the point where they're tied into South Korean culture, and likely their contribution to the Black Lives Matter movement and their contribution to the Korean economy during the pandemic, all of that will be taught in history for the rest of existence. And so with that in mind, I don't think it will be impossible for them to sell out 20,000 people in a stadium, even when they're 50. In fact, it might be easier as more of the audience will be older and can afford to travel or buy the tickets. Suga talked about how he would be okay with BTS being quote unquote over if it was a landing and not a crash. This is something armies quote a lot now, and what he means by this is when you're flying in a plane and you haven't reached altitude yet, you can see the ground, you see the cars, maybe even people, and you know where the ground is. It's right there, and if you had to land, you'd be able to land easily. But BTS was talking about when you're in the clouds way above, where you can't really go any higher, because I don't think BTS can get higher. I think they've conquered all the people who enjoy music, but when you're that high up, you can't see the ground anymore, and you don't know where it is or even how far down it is because you can't see it. So in that way, he feels distant from a lot of people, obviously, but mostly saying that he would still be okay if BTS ended by slowly descending and then being able to see the ground and then landing rather than crashing. And crashing would probably mean disbanding or having a big falling out with the label or each other. Suga kind of insinuated that it could happen soon, and I don't think so. I don't know if BTS understands this, but selling out a 20,000 people stadium is not hard for them. They literally have streams where they've sold like 1 million. It hurts that Suga or any BTS member when they're alone, they think of stuff like this or fear that maybe they have peaked, but they keep doing better. But that's the thing, even if they can't top their old self and can't maintain a number one like they used to, they'll still sell out more than any other artist. Right now, it seems like it's a struggle for them because every day you'd see someone else take the number one spot for a little bit and then BTS takes it back. And it seems like it's hard to maintain there. But a lot has to do with the fact of racism. criticism and less of BTS's competency. I don't know this, just my conspiracy, but if you think music charts in general don't have some sort of higher power manipulating it, because I do. Again, no proof, but I just don't see why they wouldn't. America doesn't want BTS to win, because that's a win for South Korea. And they would much rather have the money go to America and have more money stay in America. Haters play a big part in BTS's success too. And when you conquer a new market or try anything new, you get a lot of hate. The people who get the most hate are the newer artists. For example, when Halsey was just coming up, I couldn't talk to a person that wasn't like, ugh, I hate her. And of course, she probably still gets those comments. But I think people have acknowledged that she's famous. And even those people who hate her are like, well, she's not going anywhere, so let me just ignore her then. But when an artist is coming up, people try so hard to insult them, so they leave. But more so because they're not used to these artists. And what you're doing as a new artist is you're attempting to be a part of people's lives in some way. And people don't like change. I hope that makes sense. So BTS getting hate just means they're reaching new people and they're growing a lot. But one of the biggest fears of ARMY is that BTS will see and read these hate comments and take it to heart and be sad. Let me tell you, hate comments bother everyone. But if you're in this field, trust me when I say they'll be okay. They have doctors and therapists if they need it. And if not, they can wipe their tears with their millions. RM recently addressed the kind of pressure that they are under, and it's much worse than I imagined. Obviously, when you're that big, you have a lot of pressure, but I think we all assume that at their level, they can do whatever they want, but that seems to not be the case. When it was announced that Butter received 5 #1s, BTS did a live stream to thank everyone and kind of give their reaction to everything. They were initially scared and concerned that they wouldn't be able to hit #1 for that long, and that if they didn't hit #1 that long, the haters would claim that they were indeed a flop and all that. And even more so, they would be doing something a lot of other K-pop artists couldn't do, which is produce 2 or more major hits in America. RM continued to explain how Dynamite received 3 #1s, and so when Butter was released, there was a lot of anxiety on whether it would do well or not, and they obviously felt pressure to beat Dynamite. They continued to talk about how their standard can no longer be to just release a song and if it sells a little bit, great. Their standards have become that every time they release a song, they need to shatter records. Given they hold most of the records now, it's to shatter their old record, which wasn't easy to begin with. RM continued to talk about if Butter only received 1 #1 or dropped off the charts after a week, the haters would have a lot to say about BTS. And it's one of the things to be like, oh, ignore the haters. But when the haters are everyone in the industry, it's hard. A certain award show had already said that BTS was just a phase and trend. So if BTS didn't top, that would prove them correct. And they really want a Grammy, so they have to keep breaking records. RM said that people will say that BTS is not what they used to be and they need to be replaced. I don't think RM is referring to the hate tweets that people make online, but he is likely referring to the people in the industry that would probably say these comments, as they're very powerful people that for some reason are just sitting there waiting for BTS to fail. If you plan on having a career at all in music, you don't get to ignore those comments. It's not like these are the ignorant 5-year-olds leaving death threats. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your thoughts are. Leave it down in the comment section down below. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'm featuring this comment right here. Thank you so much for leaving comments. And as always, I do have a Patreon if you want to go over there and check that out. I have a lot of videos over there that I can't really post on here. This is due to copyright or getting taken down, so I do keep it over there on my Patreon. You can get videos over there like music video reactions, performance reactions, ship reactions. You can also recommend things you'd like to see over there. Currently, we do have over 400 videos that are already up on there, such as TV show reactions, reality TV show reactions, fan cafe videos, all of that stuff. And we also have a great time interacting with each other over there as well. So if you're interested in any of that, link is in the top of the description down below. There's also a video over there that kind of goes over how you can support this channel even more if you would like to do that. That video is on the front page and it's free to watch. With that said, there's 2 videos that will appear up on screen at the end of this video. Click on one of those and I'll see you over there. Bye.